Today I will cover a game between Wesley So and Garry Kasparov. This is a game from the Ultimate Blitz tournament 2016, and this is basically the Immortal Blitz game of Wesley, and you will see why. The time control for this tournament is 5 seconds for the whole game with a 3-second increment from the move number 1. Now let's check out this game. So Wesley with the white pieces opened with knight to f3. So we have reti opening by Wesley, and now g6. We have e4 and now bishop to g7. We have d4 now. Kasparov played d6 and we have c4. Now Wesley grabs all the center squares. Now we have bishop to g4, for the moment just pinning this knight. Now we have bishop to e2 and now knight to c6. We have knight b to d2 and now e5, just striking in the center. And Wesley played d5, so he is just attacking the knight. We have knight c to e7 by Kasparov and now h3, just attacking the bishop. We have bishop back to d7 and now c5. We have c captures on d5 and now knight to c4. We have f6 by Kasparov and now d6. In this position d6 is a very strong move, and in this position Kasparov played knight to c8. But if you wonder what if black captures this pawn, and if you capture this pawn, then white will simply capture this pawn with the knight with check, and after you move the king to f8, then knight captures on b7 is possible, and after queen to c2, just attacking the knight, then knight captures on c5 is also possible. And the point is, if you capture this knight, then white queen will capture this bishop. So capturing the knight is the best move, and after queen captures on d7, then you can play c6, just offering a queen trade. Now we have queen captures, knight captures and castles by white, and you can see white is much better in this position. White can simply play bishop to b5 to attack this knight, then he can develop this dark square bishop, and then he can bring this rook into the game, and this is just very good position for white, and probably this is a winning position for white. So that is why after this d6 move, Kasparov played knight to c8. Now we have bishop to e3 and now b6. For the moment, after this bishop to e3 move, this pawn is under attack, so Kasparov played b6, just defending this pawn, and now we have castles by white and now bishop to c6. Now we have d captures on c7, queen captures on c7 and now b4. In this position, b4 is the strongest move recommended by the engine, so Wesley played b4. For the moment you can see this pawn is undefended, and the question is, can this bishop capture this pawn? Let's see what happens if you capture this pawn. In the game, Kasparov played c captures on b4, but we will see bishop captures on e4 line. So if you capture this pawn, then white will capture this pawn, b captures on c5, and after you play bishop to c6, then knight to d6 chase is just deadly. You have to capture the knight, then c captures on d6, and after queen moves, then you can bring this rook into the game, and after rook to d8, then queen to c2, just attacking the bishop twice, and after you play something bishop to d5, then rook f to d1, again attacking the bishop, and this position is very good for white. Probably this is winning position for white. So after this b4 move, bishop captures on e4 is an option, but this is not a good option. So Kasparov played c captures on b4. Now we have rook to c1. We have knight to g, knight g to e7, and now queen to b3. Now we have h6 now, and now rook f to d1. We have b5 now, and in this position you can pause the video and find the strongest move for white. And if you found the move knight to a5, this is the strongest move in this position. But in this position Wesley played knight captures on e5. Also this is the second best move. So we have e captures on c5 by Wesley. Now we have f captures, and now bishop to captures on b5. For the moment you can see this bishop is pinned, so you can't capture here because your queen is hanging. So rook to b8, after you play some rook to b8, in the game Garry Kasparov played rook to b8. Now we have bishop to a4, still this bishop is pinned. Now we have queen to b7, and now rook captures on c6. And if you capture with the queen, then white bishop will simply capture, so this is not an option. So in the game, knight captures on c6 was played, but now queen to e7 check. We have knight to e7 just blocking, and now bishop captures on c5. For the moment this knight is also pinned, and you can see this bishop is a very strong piece here. We have rook to c8, and now bishop captures on c7, queen captures on c7, and after this bishop captures on c7 move, we have queen captures on e7, and in this position Garry Kasparov just resigned the game because this is a totally lost position for white, and this is in fact the mate in 4. So you can again in this position you can pause the video and find the mate in 4 idea. The point is you can capture this rook with the check. After you capture the rook with check, then king to f7 the only move. Now you can play bishop to b3 check, and you can see these 3 important squares are covered, and bishop is covering this all the important square. So you have to play something king to f6. This is the only square available, and now queen captures on c6 with check, and there is no squares for the king. All the squares are covered, so you have to play either queen to d6 or e6. If you play d6, this is mate in 1, and if you try queen to e6, then this bishop is covering the square, so this is again checkmate. So after this move, just 1 minute. So after this, queen captures on the e7. So after in this position, Garry Kasparov just resigned the game because this is a totally lost position for black. There is nothing to do, and this is actually mate in 4. So that is why he resigned. An excellent victory for Wesley So. And as the title suggests, this is a Immortal Blitz game of Wesley. Now I will show you the standings of this tournament, and this is basically the standings of this tournament. Hikaru Nakamura actually won this tournament with 11 points out of 18. So that was the game. I hope you enjoyed that one, and if you enjoy my content, then please subscribe, and thank you for watching.